the examples, the question that we do later will be important. So we'll pick up the main stuff anyway. Okay, so this is a greater than form. So your answer will look like this. So we just split it to two parts then. So 3x minus 2 is less than minus 8, which is this one, or 3x minus 2 is greater than 8, which is this form here. And we have an equal sign as well, which is, so we just include that down here. So we solve them separately. So we do the first one here. We'll get x less than or equal to minus 2. Then we'll solve the second one. And x can be greater than or equal to 10 on 3. So on the number line, that would look like this. So less than or equal to minus 2 is here. And greater than or equal to 10 on 3 is here. So either of those values will make this true, but not in the middle here. Okay, and you should choose some values and check that actually. So, okay, so this one we basically need to rearrange it. So you got minus a third. Now multiply by minus 3 both sides here. So you'll get a 6, but because you're multiplying by negative, you need to change this sign. Even though this is an absolute question, we still have to follow inequality rules. So multiply by minus 3 both sides. That will cancel, but then you need to change the direction of the sign. So whenever you multiply or divide by negative numbers. So you need to do that, changing the direction. So then in this case, we've got greater than 6 or less than minus 6. So these are your two equations you need to solve. I just kind of put them all together though, unfortunately. So those are the two equations to solve. So greater than C or less than minus C from the rule. And then we just move the 3 and then times 2. We'll get down to this answer for the first part. And the second part, we'll get down to x greater than 6 when we try to solve these two here. I should have done them separately like the other question. So then we'll get two answers. So less than 18. They're using a curved bracket there. Some books, I got this from a book, mind you. So they use a curved bracket, which is the same as an open circle, all right, if you see that. So curved bracket means open circle. So we're not including the end values. If you see a solid circle would have a square bracket. So it depends on the textbook you're looking at. So they're equal. All right, so this question here, this is kind of like the previous one where we had no solution. So this number here is always positive, isn't it? So whatever x value I put in here, this is always going to be true, greater than a negative number. Okay, so this is always going to be true. So whatever x value you put in here, this number is going to be positive. And a positive number is always greater than a negative number, isn't it? It doesn't matter what it is. So that means that this will be, the solution for this inequality is all real numbers. So if you said x is 10 and you have 50 plus 2, 52, absolute 52 is going to be greater than negative 3 on 2, isn't it? Because remember, this always makes numbers positive and they're always going to be greater than that number. So this one is all real x. So just think a little bit about the question before you start trying to solve it. If you do using your greater than rule, you'll end up with some wrong answer, okay? So in this question, I rearranged it. So, because I like to have the absolute on the left side, not the right side. You see, this is on the right side. So I like to put this on the left side. So I've got absolute and a number, so I can use my rules more easily. So what I did there is I just flipped them around. So when you flip, you also need to flip the sign. You see that? It's like when you said 3 is less than 5, which is true. If you want to flip that, 5 is greater than 3 to keep it being true. So when you flip two things around, the sign has to change as well. So if it's an equal sign, you have to flip that as well. So be careful of that. So you flip the whole thing over, and then I change the direction of the sign because I've got to do that to keep the statement a true statement. And then I basically just solved it as I did before. So let's see, we've got this. This is a greater than question. So this is the first part. So this greater than that. So we basically just write out this greater than that first, and then we get our solution. This is the second equation. So if it's greater than this, it must be less than the negative of that. This is coming from the rule, except I've got a bigger thing here. I've got X as well. So this is like just your number when I had, so this was like C, and this is like minus C here. And that's from the rule, directly from the rule. So then we'll just basically multiply out the minus sign, and we'll get X less than or equal to a quarter as well when we simplify that one. When you do sum yourself, it will be easier. Okay, and this is your final solution in the set notation. I'll leave this. This is another method that we can solve problems. But I think I'll go into this later because I think you're already overloaded. So I'll come back to this method later. And it's actually a really useful method, and you'll still get the same answer. But I think I'll explain that a bit later. That one and this one is, yeah, we'll do these later because that's a different method, but it's quite a useful method to learn actually, especially when you're doing tests. Okay, so let's look at here. Let's do one together first. So these are less than, this is a greater than rule here. So we're using the less than rule. So we should write it out. So at the top here, you should write AX plus B less than C. So this is your question. We change this to a solution form. So we'd have minus C less than AX plus B less than C. So this is for less than problems. So write that down. And you should do, if you're using a tablet, copy it at the top. And then if we have a greater than form, AX plus B greater than C, our solution form will be AX plus B greater than C. So just copy that directly down from here. Or AX plus B less than minus C. So this is your greater than form, greater than question. So you use the first one here. Can you do that first? And I'll give you a couple of minutes and then we'll do it together. And then I think I'll ask for your answer in B in the chat, right? So more than, greater than, more than. Yeah, so I'm just following the sign here. So this is less than question. And this is a greater than question. Right, we're starting off pretty basic, and this is actually from grade 9. So I think you should be able to do it okay. All right, do question 1A. I'll give you a minute. You don't have to put the answer in the chat for this one. We'll do the next one like that. So if you finish A real quick, you try question B. We don't have to do them all, but we'll pick some out. Panavit, you're giving me your answer, are you? You want to give me an answer? You can put it in the chat if you want. You don't have to put this one in, but put it in if you like, and I can check. And we'll go through the answer in a second. Is there only one answer though? You think about the form you used. Let's see. Okay. So this is a less than form. So let's have a look. Right, Sunita, that looks okay. So look at the form. It's this kind of form here. It's the first one, right? So we'll use this form here. So you need to change your question to look like this. And your C here is 7. So we need to write -7 here. Less than or equal to. So just follow this sign here. If it's got an equals, you need to include it and keep the same direction too. Then you copy your U value, your statement in the middle, X -2. Put your sign back here. And then that would become 7. So you see what I did there? I put the 7 in here, but I make it -7. And then we put the 7 in here and we make it +7. So we keep it as positive. And then the U statement goes in the middle. Like that. Okay, and then we basically solve that. So then you would add 2 to both sides. And then so -7 plus 2 is -5. X -2 plus 2 is X. 7 plus 2 is 9. So this is your solution. Write your solutions in interval notation. So X is a member of -5 to 9. That's your interval form. Okay, that's your answer. So hopefully you did that. I won't take any score on this first one, so I'll take a note of that and remind you later. But so for the first one, I'm just giving you a bit of practice. So now for the second one, can you try the second one? So I need to move my 8 first, and I need to multiply by 4. So sub 8 both sides. So subtract 8 both sides, and then divide by, multiply 4 both sides. Right, you try B. I'll give you a minute. And try to get your answer down like there in question 1. You don't need to use, just use this notation here if you can. Like that, that's okay. Okay, put that in the chat box. That one there. Right or wrong, put something in. And then we'll check your answers. So hopefully by the end of the lesson, you can do them properly. Quiz and math. Nipa, anyone else? Okay, don't take too long. So don't run out of time. So subtract 8 both sides first, and then multiply 4 to both sides, and then simplify as is on the question A there. Okay, can I do the answer now? Quick.
Wait a minute, wait.
Right, don't worry if you're right or wrong. Type something in. If you have finished B, you can look at C. Scroll down on your tablet to C. I'll move it up. I see if I can show you C there. So do question C when you finish B, all right? But don't put the answer in yet till I ask. All right, so just do B for now. And you can do C and then have your answer ready. Okay, anyone else? Where's Napat? Is he sleeping? Okay, so let's stop there. So we're going to move 8 both sides. So subtract 8. 8. So you're going to absolute 5v plus 1 on 4 less than 9 minus 8 is 1. Multiply 4 both sides, just like a normal equation. And we're multiplying by 4, so the sign won't change. So 5v plus 1, absolute 4, and less than. So now we're going to have 5v, so we're going to have minus 4, 5v plus 1, 4, just like we got over here. So then we can add 1 to both sides. So minus 4 plus 1, minus 3. Oh, minus 1, minus 5. So 5v and 1, 4 minus 1 is 3, like that. So now we divide by 5. We're dividing by a positive number, so we don't have to worry about the signs. So 5, 5, 5. So you're going to get minus 1 less than v less than 3/5. So that should be the correct answer there. You got that one? Okay, so look at C. Okay, so when you've done C, put your answer in. We might skip D because it's a bit of a mess and we'll move on a little bit. We don't have to do them all, but you can do it yourself later. Okay, so you do C and give me an answer for C. Put in the chat. So a couple of minutes. This one's going to have fractions in it. That's okay. It's still a less than problem, so set it up. So you got to move to 6 first, don't you? So move to 6. Okay, so put that answer in when you're done. If you do finish that, just wait a minute. I'm not sure which one we'll do next, so we'll have a look. So just finish C. Okay, that's 4 answers. So we'll look what you got. I think, Sunita, you're correct. Oh, where's my page gone? There it is. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, anyone else? Be quick, write something in. Don't write it in 10 minutes time because I'll know when I print it out, I can see when you've put your answer. So this question here, we'll need to move our 6 first. Let's make it a bit bigger. All right. A bit clearer. So move your 6. So subtract 6 both sides. So you have 3b minus 11. Less than or equal to 9 minus 6 is 3. Okay, so this has got to be written as the less than form. So minus 3, less than or equal to 3b minus 11, less than or equal to 3. So in this case, we need to add 11 to both sides first, because we've got a minus 11 here. Like that. So then you're going to get 8 less than or equal to 3b. That will cancel. 11 plus 3 is 14. All right. And then now we've got a 3 in the middle, which we need to divide by. Don't change the direction of the sign because 3 is positive. So keep it as a less than or equal to sign. So then we're going to get 8 on 3, less than or equal to b, less than or equal to 14 on 3. So that's your general form there. That's your solution, I should say. So you could write that as x is a member of b, sorry. Look at that, b. So look at what your variable is. So b is a member of the set 8 on 3 up until 14 on 3. Like that. That's the correct way to write it. But in your chat, you write it in this form. Okay. So let's go down a bit. I'll leave D because it's a bit notorious, a bit laborious, I should say. Try this one here. Try E. Okay, do E next. And then do F, but don't put the answer in yet. I'll ask for that later. So do E. Can you do E now? And see what you get there. So we're still doing the less than problems. But note E, note that this is a greater than problem. So before you start that one, you think about the form you need to use. Okay, so put your answer in real quick. Okay, any answers coming? Okay, one answer. Now this one, I'll be interesting to see if we can do this one. All right, keep trying. You're going to have to do something with your sign. This is actually going to be a greater than problem. So this form here, I'll just give you a hint. So this form is going to be a greater than form. It's not going to be less than because this sign has to change. So this is going to be AX plus B greater than or equal to C. So now we've got AX plus B greater than or equal to C, or AX plus B less than or equal to minus C. Can you see that yet? I've got a couple of answers. Anyone else? Pete, where are you? What are you doing? Remember, this is your behavior score and you can't really make it up if you're not here. Okay, let's take a look anyway. So we got, I'll probably add 5 to both sides. So do that first. So minus 2 absolute W is less than or equal to, it's going to be minus 6. Okay. And now you've got a minus 2, which you don't want. So you're going to have to divide by minus 2. Like that. And because you're dividing by minus 2, this sign is going to have to change direction, which turns it into a greater than problem. So you're going to get absolute W is greater than or equal to minus 6 on minus 2 is 3. So you should have gotten down to here. So this will have your two solutions. The first one is when W is positive. So W greater than or equal to 3, or W less than or equal to minus 3. So this is going to be your answer here. So on a number line, so you're going to have 0 here, you'll have 3 here, that way, or minus 3 here that way for that answer. Okay, try F, and you're going to need to be using this form here, actually, for both questions. All right, so try question F. Nipah. All right, so do F. Doesn't matter if you're wrong and you can see I'm starting to answer it, you just put something in, all right? Will be better. Just write anything in, because I can't see what you're doing, so it's hard to tell. If you're working and you need more help, more time, let me know so I don't start answering already. Okay, so if you want me to, because sometimes I don't check the chat straight away. So if you need more time and you're working, let me know and I'll wait. But if you're not paying attention, I won't stop for them. So do that one. We only have 8 minutes, so let's work on this one. Any question you don't finish, you can, don't know why my page disappears. Yeah. So this question, you move your 9 and then you divide by 3. Okay, I got one answer. Anyone else?
Teacher Lena.
Yeah, keep going. Okay, 5 answers. Keep going. Because it's 12:15, we stop at 12:20. Eight answers. Anyone else? Who's still working? Okay, we'll do the answer. All right, so in this question, we would move the 9 first. So bring that over. So you got 3 absolute 5 minus 7W. 15 minus 9, that's going to be 6, isn't it? Let me just go back to my answer key so I don't mess it up. Yeah, 6. So then we divide by 3. So we're dividing by positives. So we'll keep the direction of the sign the same. Just cut that off. So then we're going to get 5 minus 7W greater than or equal to 2. So this is a greater than problem. So now we set it up in this form up here. So the first one's easy to write. 5 minus 7W greater than or equal to 2, or 5 minus 7W less than or equal to minus 2. So don't forget to change the sign on this number when you do this less than negative. If you graph it, you'll see why it's less than negative and not just less than 2. So let's go up a bit. So then we're going to have minus 7W greater than or equal to 2 minus 5, which is minus 3. So then we're going to divide by negative 7 to cancel this. So now the sign is going to have to change back again. So D less than or equal to 3 on 7. Okay, that's the first answer. So whenever you're dividing these negatives, remember to change your sign. So that's minus 7D less than or equal to minus 2 minus 5 minus 7. Divide by minus 7 both sides. That will cancel. And you're dividing by negative, so change the direction again. And minus 7 on minus 7 is 1. So your answer is either going to be less than 3/7 or greater than 1. We'll make that question true. So 0 here, 3 on 7 here, 1 about here, for example. So greater than or equal to 1, or less than or equal to 3 on 7 in that direction. Right? I think we could run out of time. So you can probably do some of these yourself, like the ones that we're missing, you can go back and try yourself, but I won't be marking this stuff. I'm only doing the participation at the moment. So it's a couple more here we can work on, but we'll see next week. So next week, not next week, tomorrow, we may look at that other method that I mentioned. This is a harder way to do it. This is by cases. So I'm not sure I'm going to show you this. I'd rather you just look at that yourself because I think our time is short. It's just another way to solve them, but it's kind of, you can see it's kind of complicated, right? But they're the kinds of questions you see in Thai books. That question E there. And so it might be worth looking at if you're going to do Thai exams later on. Our time is, we're left with 2 periods. So there's some applications, but I might do a little bit on the rational next week. Applications. But you're welcome to finish that book in your own time if you want. I recommend it before grade 11 anyway, because I know what's coming up for you. So I reckon whatever we don't do in the online and whatever's left over, you should try and do that. I think I'm going to go to the rational inequality in the next lesson. I think I'll go to here because I think we've covered the basics for the inequalities already, but rational inequality. And I think we'll look at this because this is the thing that's in the Thai curriculum. We need to look at that. So we might spend 2 periods on that. All right. So I'll stop there and then I'll see you tomorrow. I've got to do something in the morning tomorrow and I should be back. But if I'm not, I'll let you know in the line if I'm running late coming back. I've got to go and do something with my tax form. So I've got to go like a little bit far away and do that. Okay, so we'll stop there. And then I'll see you hopefully tomorrow. I think it should be okay. All right. Okay, talk to you tomorrow then, hopefully. All right, bye-bye. Have a good day.
Bye, teacher.
Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you. See ya.
Thank you, teacher.
Thanks. All right, bye.